If you're a scalp trader like myself, you're going to absolutely love this strategy because it operates on the fundamentals of mean reversion, where you're finding tops and bottoms of assets and then you're capturing that profit on the reversion of the average. Mean reversion, get it? There you go. But it's a very fancy word for just you're trying to capture reversals for assets. So without further ado, let's get into the strategy right now.
Oh, and real quick, I was literally just editing this video that you're watching right now. Shout out to all of you amazing people that hit that like button, because I told people in the last video, if this video got like 25 likes, I'll do this strategy video. You guys like killed it. It's like 29 likes right now, so I really do appreciate that. Let's get this video to, let's just bump it up by 5. Let's get this to 30 likes, okay? And then I'll probably do something crazy. I don't know. I'll think about it, but I really do appreciate the support. All right, back to the video.
All right, so we are here on the chart. Now, again, I can't emphasize this enough. Please listen to this video. Please listen to this part. If you don't listen to anything, listen to this part. Never take a trade off any indicator, off any buy-sell signal, any type of just one thing. Please make sure at the end of the day you still have an emphasis on supply, demand, support, resistance, all that stuff, context of price, where price is, okay? Because you're going to find setups in this video, even using this strategy, that you still need to make sure that it's not a false signal, because you need to have the context of price. Why is price doing the way it is? Is there a major order block coming up? Is there a support and resistance area that possibly it's going to react off of? You need to find context, and that is where we're going to get into this video right now. Before we even use this strategy and what I have set up here, we're going to build this from the ground up, and I'm going to show you exactly how to use it. Okay, now like I said, I am using Ethereum on the 30-minute time frame. This is how I like to trade that. Now, if you like shorter time frame scalping videos and strategies, click this link right here, and that'll take you to how I scalp on a lower time frame breakouts and stuff like that. But for this strategy, I like to use it on a little bit of a higher time frame, so this is kind of balances out my strategies where I have lower time frame scalping strategies, and then for this one it's kind of a higher 30-minute to an hour time frame. You can even use this all the way up to a 4-hour if you want to. But if you're a scalper like I am and you still like to get into trades relatively quick and in and out, I like to use it on the 30-minute time frame. I find a really solid balance with this one, and let's get into how I set my chart up. So before we add even one single indicator on here, rule number 1 with using this strategy is you're going to, again, just like in my other videos, find context of why price is doing what it's doing. As we see here, we were looking at Ethereum, so I would go to the 1-hour time frame and the 4-hour time frames, and I will find major order blocks. So right before you're about to set your chart up for the day, right before you're about to start your trading session, literally just go to the 1-hour time frame and look for major points where the price has shifted. Now you're going to probably, I've even seen some comments that they were talking to me and they would say, Austin, I'm a scalper. Why do I have to go to the 1-hour time frame, 2-hour? You're not trading off of these higher time frames. You're building context. You don't want to be so zoned in on just a 5-minute time frame if you're scalping, or a 10-minute time frame, 15, whatever. You still need to have the context of where you're at with price on a higher time frame. So I can't exaggerate that enough. You need to still go to these higher time frames to find context. So we see we're here on the 1-hour. There is this major shift in price to the downside, and again the same thing. We found a major shift to the upside right here, where we have this really nice bullish order block, and that's all I like to do in conjunction with the most recent price action. That's why you see a few of these little rectangles here. Honestly, I could even get rid of this one because it already broke through, because I just want to see the context of recent price action. And you see here this wick respected this block that I have here. That's why I kept it on the screen, because now this resistance area is now turning into a support area. So now I know if price comes to that area, and if it jumps back off again, that's why. That's why we use these and build repetitions of finding these areas on these higher time frames. So now we see that Ethereum is just, it bounced off, now it bounced up here, now it's coming back up here. So if it failed to meet this area, we know that more than likely it's coming back down to this purple area. That's why you need to find your order blocks. So now let's get to setting up our chart. The first thing we're going to add is a Bollinger Band. I love using Bollinger Bands, and that's the premise of this strategy, is reverting back to the mean. So statistically, 95% of the time, price action stays inside of these Bollinger Bands. So when you're trading this strategy, you already have a 95% edge of that you're correct, like making sure you're reverting back to the mean or reverting back to the average of the price, because that's all these Bollinger Bands are. It's the upper standard deviation and the lower standard deviation of the average price range and then you have this moving average in the middle as that average price for the basis of the Bollinger Bands. The next thing, in the settings that I'm using right here, and again, this is specifically for Ethereum on the 30-minute time frame. Please don't use these same settings for trading Tesla or NASDAQ or US 30. It's up to you to take the foundational knowledge of this video and then apply it to your own asset that you like to trade, and then find the settings that work well with it, because I promise these settings aren't going to work exactly with everything else. You have to find what works with your assets. In this case, I set it to 10, standard deviation of 3. Volume profile. Now I have 2 volume profiles here. So if you go to indicators, type in volume profile. It's by KV4 Coins. This is not a standard indicator. It's a custom one, and it shows both bullish with the green and bearish volume here, and we'll get into why this is important. Another one that I like to add as far as just giving me more confirmation is a 3.5 standard deviation Bollinger Band with 50. When I've noticed when I combine both this one and this one together, it just provides really great confirmation and really good entry points. And as you see here, when price broke out of here, but again, we're going to get into the rules, but then when it broke out of this Bollinger Band here, it gave me a little bit of a better entry than if I were to just wait here. So that's why I like using both of these, again, on the 30-minute time frame right here. Yeah, sorry, I was looking at the 1 hour, but roughly right around here was where I got in. But we'll talk about that trade too. And then the last one, you see me use this all the time. It's sessions. This just shows me when I'm back testing and when obviously I'm trading. This shows me the time frames which I'm allowed to trade, which is right here, the New York session time frame. Now this strategy does, obviously because Ethereum is 24 hours, you can use this in after hours, Asia market, Australia market, whatever, Tokyo, all these different sessions. But where I'm in the US, I just like to look at the New York Open for anything when I trade. So I mostly just use this one for back tests, so we can just turn that off for now. Now, here are the rules, and the last one that we're adding actually here is the RSI plus BOO. This is just a little bit of a better RSI I found, because it just I just feel like it works better than the normal RSI. But again, you can use normal RSI too. But if you want to use what I use, it's RSI plus backlight overbought / oversold by Crypto Insider. The only additional thing I do is I turn that background off here. It's the third one to the bottom. I just turn this one off. I don't like the flashy color there. And this is the premise of the chart. Once you have all of these indicators on your screen, once you have your order blocks, you are ready to start taking trades. Now, here are the rules for, let's go over for a short first, since this is exactly what we took here. So if we're looking for a short, the first thing that we need to do, and you can even set alerts, you can literally just right click one of the indicators, click add an alert, is you want Ethereum or whatever asset you're looking at to cross your bands. Okay, in this case, both of my bands were crossed, which is what the rule number 1. Rule number 2 is price if we're looking for a short, because what we're doing is we're making sure that we're taking advantage of the reversion of the mean. Okay, we're betting that price is going to go back down at some point and reverse back down to the average ranging price, which is this mean reversion, for a very complicated term. But in this case, as we took this short, we were betting that price was going to come back down to where it was averagely on average ranging. I'm sorry. So we're looking into seeing if price is above the volume profile. Okay, so the volume profile is telling us this is where the market is causing a ton of volume, both buying and selling of whatever asset you're looking. So in theory, when price is ranging above volume profile, at some point it wants to come back down, because this is where the market likes to cause volume on whatever time frame, and then vice versa. When price is ranging down below the volume, it wants to come back up to where the majority of the volume is, and it wants to go back to that area of homeostasis. And as you see here, that's exactly what price always likes to do. It just acts like a magnet. So when price pierces our Bollinger Band and it's above our volume, That is rule number 1 and 2. And then rule number 3 is we want to see the RSI being severely oversold. So what I like to do is when I'm backtesting and collecting data of whatever asset I'm doing, I'll note the tops of these RSIs and I'll just draw this little line here. And then I'll go back and see, you know, when are some other times where price reverted very heavily in conjunction with the RSI. So then in this case, I would take the peak of that one. And then as you start collecting data points, you can create your little range here of where exactly on your asset is that range of true overbought and oversold areas. So in this case, if I were just testing this out, once the RSI did all my rule number 1 and 2, I would just look at my RSI, or once price done my rule number 1 and 2, I would look at my RSI and see, okay, cool, it's within that range. Sweet, let me take a trade. Now again, this is all for Ethereum on the 30-minute time frame. So Ethereum on the 30-minute time frame, I use 20 as my stop loss, 30 is my take profit with a 1.5 risk to reward ratio, and it worked out perfectly. This Sunday actually is when I took this trade. And then this one was, if you were to look at it, it looks like it would have hit my stop loss, but I like taking profits early when it comes to this strategy because sometimes you can have these just insane movements. And I'll also place my stop loss into break even when I get decently into profit. So right around here, I was actually taking some profit and then I moved my stop loss to break even. So this was actually a risk-free trade after I took that profit. And then you can see here was another trade. I think it was right here, roughly like right around here. Yeah, I don't know why that was moved over. Here was another trade. Let's see. Here was another one that I took, another short. So it's a really good strategy. Again, on the 30-minute time frame, you're going to have a lot longer time to wait, but it literally just depends on whatever asset you're looking at. Now, when it comes to, am I waiting for candle close? Am I not waiting? Blah, blah, blah. When it comes to only this strategy, when it comes to my other scalping strategies, I'll wait for candle close and all that. But when it comes to this one, once all 3 of my rules are met, regardless of candle close, I'm getting into the trade. Now, some of you might be cringing at that. Some of you might be scratching your head, but that's just what has been working for me. If you take this and run with it and find something else that can work, absolutely do that. But this has specifically been working for me. So as soon as price crosses both Bollinger Bands, but also has the RSI, also is above the volume profile, I'm taking a short. And then vice versa. Let's say price was coming down here for a long. All it has to do is come down here, pierce both of my Bollinger Bands here, be dramatically below the volume profile here, and the RSI has to be very oversold on here. Boom, taking it long and then riding it back up where it reverts back to the average. Now, here are some more examples of actual trades that I took. And again, no strategy is a 100% win rate. It's all about taking the trades and the math working out in your favor where you're okay hitting a stop loss because you know that at a 1.5 risk to reward ratio, right? Like if it hits that and you win the next trade, you're making back the loss plus 0.5 of the reward. So you're still coming out net profitable. So this was a win. This was a win. Here was another win. If you see here, this one was a win. This was a loss. So this is a scenario where you still can lose, right? This hit my stop loss here, but the next trade made up for that one plus 0.5. We see here this was another trade that went in my favor. So these are actual trades that I took. That's why I keep these up here so that way they can kind of act as my trade journal when the scenarios are met. You can even take a screenshot of these of this little screen here so you can use my little settings if you want to on when I get in and out of trades. But this is exactly the strategy. I really hope y'all find this video helpful. It's really short, simple, and to the point. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below so that way I can answer them. And I really hope this just gives you value when it comes to scalping. Now, it is very important to understand, even though this strategy does work and in the other strategies I show does work, it still is not just about the strategy as much as it is about your mental when it comes to trading. So if you're in drawdown, if you're about to hit your stop loss, you still have to be okay with sticking to a strategy. Maybe this strategy isn't for you. That's totally fine. But the thing I want you to realize is if you want to become a profitable, long-term, consistent trader and also trading with prop firm money, you need to be consistent at whatever strategy you choose to do. Don't strategy hop. Don't take a couple losses from one strategy, then hop to another. Be very consistent and let that data be collected so that way you can see if a strategy, one, is good and profitable, and two, you can prove to yourself that even if you take a couple losses, that's totally fine, because no strategy is going to be 100% win rate. And I even showed in the last video, you can have a 30% win rate and still be highly profitable. So please do not get discouraged when you take losses. It's going to happen in trading. No strategy is going to turn you magically into a profitable trader. It is still up to you to become mentally tough when it comes to trading. So I hope this video was helpful. Please drop it a like if you did enjoy that. Until next time, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, stay grinding on your goals and never let anyone tell you that you can't do something they have never done themselves. And I will see you later.